Okay, so you've outgrown the relationship, you've outgrown the dynamics, maybe even the entire identity that used to hold it together. And yet you feel guilty for letting go. Why do we feel guilty for choosing our own growth and evolution? Why do we feel responsible for somebody else's reaction to our truth? And why do we call it selfish when we choose alignment over obligation? That guilt, if left unchecked, keeps us locked in patterns we've already outgrown. So today I want to help you understand where that guilt comes from, why it lingers, and how to finally release it without shame, without confusion, and without abandoning your soul in the process. But first, we need to start with looking at the root behind it all. Hi, I'm Robin Plim, your awakening guide and the author of Awake, Aware, Conscious. I'm here to support your journey of healing and transformation by sharing tools to unlock your true potential. If you're ready to dive into today's topic, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content, hit the like button, and if this video inspires you, share it, put your comments below, or even check out my website if you'd like to work with me. All right, so guilt comes from our internalized rules, the unspoken family or cultural expectations that we pick up early in life. Now, these hidden rules can make it feel wrong, selfish, or disloyal to follow our own needs, wants, or goals. It's our programmed roots of loyalty, obligation, fear of being too much or too different. Guilt is a lower vibrational energy which sits in our out of balance sacral chakra. Now, it creates energy blocks and it's a symptom of misaligned and conditioned responsibilities. Guilt isn't always a sign you've done something wrong. Sometimes it's a sign you're doing something different. When you choose to evolve, your nervous system flags that as unfamiliar. Your mind interprets unfamiliar as unsafe. And what do we do when we feel unsafe? We default to the old programming, the programming that says, keep everyone happy. Don't be the one who changes. Don't cause waves. We confuse guilt with wrongdoing. But guilt is often just an emotional echo of past identity, especially for women. Many of us were conditioned to believe we're responsible for other people's feelings. We need to keep the peace. We shouldn't outshine, outgrow, outpace. So the moment we start pulling away from that, guilt kicks in. But here's the thing, guilt doesn't always mean stop. Sometimes it means grow. So let's talk about what happens when you don't release relationships that no longer align. So physically, you're probably going to feel drained. You're holding tension without even realizing it. Emotionally, you're stuck in cycles of second guessing. Energetically, your power is leaking out into conversations and connections that no longer nourish you. You start to feel foggy, disconnected from your intuition, like you're stuck between two worlds, who you were and who you're becoming. Now, that stuckness isn't failure, it's friction. It's the soul saying you're not meant to keep doing this. And that is why letting go isn't just emotional. It's physical, it's energetic, it's reclaiming your life force. But once you let go, the journey isn't over. Now, you've let go of the relationship, you've pulled back your energy, and now you're here in the in-between. This space is uncomfortable. You're no longer where you were, but you are not yet who you are becoming. Now, this is where grief can surface, not just for the other person, but for the version of you that held the relationship together. Maybe you were the peacekeeper, the rescuer, the one who always made it work. And now that identity has no job. Here's the mistake that people make. They rush in to fill the space. They slide back into something familiar just to avoid the void. But this space, it's uncomfortable in between. It's outside your comfort zone, but it's also where new alignment is born and where growth can really happen. Okay, so you've created space. Now you get to choose who you become next. This is where soul-led identity begins, not based on what others expect, but based on what truly aligns with your body, your energy, and your heart. So maybe you could start with these questions. If I didn't feel guilty, what would I allow myself to do? What qualities am I reclaiming that I've hidden or suppressed? Who am I when I'm not managing anyone else's comfort? Now, this is about returning to your own center, letting your body decide what's safe now, letting your soul decide what's true now. The more you live from this place, the more magnetic you become. You start calling in people who match your new frequency, not your past patterns. But how do you know you're attracting the right relationships moving forward? When you shift your identity, your energy field changes. That's when new people begin showing up. People who are aligned, people who resonate with what you are doing, and people who will reciprocate. But here's the catch. The old pattern will still test you. That ex-friend, that old dynamic, that let's catch up text. It shows up not to pull you back, but to ask, have you really chosen the new? You don't need to over-explain. You don't need to justify. You simply need to stand in your own new frequency. Hold your boundaries. Trust what your body is telling you. Trust where your soul is leading you. Letting go without guilt doesn't mean it's easy, but it does mean it's clean, it's aligned, and it's powerful. And the more you choose your soul over your past identity, the more peace, freedom, and clarity you create, not just for yourself, but also for those around you. So what do you do when the old world still tries to pull you back in? That's what we're going to talk about next, how to hold your new identity and move on without looking back. If guilt wasn't part of your decision, what would you allow yourself to let go of today?